It's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. This song uses just 2 chord shapes, and that makes this song really great for beginners because with just 2 chords, you can play through the entire song. First, I'm going to show you the easy way to play the chords, and that requires a capo. So we have to put a capo on the 2nd fret. Then after that, I'm going to show you how to play the lead guitar part from the intro. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to play it without a capo, which means we have to use some bar chords. It's a bit more complicated. Now, if you need any extra help with this, I have a couple resources for you. There's my free ebook. It's available on my website to all my subscribers. And I also have a complete beginner's guitar course. And in the ebook, we go over all the basics, chords, chord switching, strumming patterns, all the fundamentals. And in my course, we do that, but in way more depth, way more detail. It's a complete video course. It makes you practice. It kind of gets you doing everything. There's little checklists and stuff so you can see your progress. I highly recommend that if you want that kind of teacher experience. Anyways, we're going to start off with the easy version. So make sure your capo's on the 2nd fret. And our first chord shape is a G chord. From there, we're going to switch to A minor. Now let's practice putting the chords in order because we do have to actually count out and make sure that we get the right number of strums on each one. First, we're going to have the G chord. So we're just counting along, downstrokes only, keeping the rhythm super simple. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Stay on that A minor, 2, 3, back to G, 2, 3, 4, and again, 1, 2. So you'll see there that we're not just going G, A minor, like 4 beats each or whatever. We're doing G, 4 beats, then 8 beats of A minor, and then 4 beats of G. And that's the whole form. And then we repeat it over and over again, and that's the whole song. And once you've worked out those chord shapes and you can switch between them nice and comfortably, we're ready to take a look at the strumming pattern, which goes like this. And when I play it once, it doesn't really seem like much, but when I do it a whole bunch of times in a row, it sounds a lot more like the song. Now I'm going to play it for you a lot slower. 1, and 2, and 3, and 2, and 3. So you might notice that we're only counting up to 3 in this one, and that's pretty rare. Most of the time songs are in 4, so you're just always counting up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, but in this one, we're going to be counting up to 3. You could also make a case saying that this song is in 12/8 or 6/8 time, and that's totally true, but that's going to complicate things. So let's just keep it in 3, and let's count out our strumming pattern super slowly. We start off with a downstroke on beat 1, 1, 2, and 3. So on beat 1, that's a big downstroke. On the and after 2, that's an upstroke. And then on beat 3, I'm just doing a little downstroke. So try that super slowly, going 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, a whole bunch of times in a row. Now, as far as how many times to do each strumming pattern, we're going to do that pattern 4 times on G, 8 times on A minor, and then 4 times on G. So it's just like how when we were strumming it, we strummed G 4 times, then A minor 8 times, and then strummed G 4 times. We're just replacing each single strum with a whole strumming pattern. Anyways, once you're ready, once you've worked out this pattern over each of the chords and you're ready to put it all together, we're going to do it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. All right, so now that we've figured out how to play the chords for the song, let's take a look at that lead part. We're gonna have to take off our capo since we need access to some of these low notes that the capo's covering up. First, I'm gonna show you the whole thing nice and slow, and then we can break it down into 5 parts, and you can learn it bit by bit, put it all back together, and then you're gonna be able to play through this whole thing. So here it is, nice and slow. The first part goes like this. So on the lowest string, we go 0, 2, and then we go to the A string and we go 0, and we slide from 2 to 4. So you might want to work that out, doing that slide a few times. Here it is all again. The next part is definitely the trickiest part. We're going to be on the 2nd fret of the A string. We slide up to the 4th fret, then we slide back to the 2nd fret, and then we pull off to the open string, all in one motion. So for all 4 of those notes, we're only picking once at the very beginning. And we can make it a bit easier if we just go and then pluck that last note. You know, don't bother doing the pull off. Next part, we're still on the A string. It goes like this. So we're just quickly sliding from 2 to 4, and then from 4 to 2. This song's great for practicing your slides. Next part goes like this. So I'm sliding from 2 to 4 with my 3rd finger, then with my 1st finger. You could use the same finger twice, but it's just not as smooth. And you know, this song's smooth like Tennessee Whiskey. We want to go, you know, so we're slide, slide, 3rd finger, 1st finger. Even though we're doing the same thing, then just 4 to 2. And then the last bit is the same as the 2nd part. You know, so we do 2 to 4, back to 2, open, all one pick. And we finish off, just pluck the A string. So there's a lot of the same little bits over and over in there, which is good because that means you can just kind of practice it once, you know, going from 2 to 4, just practice that a whole bunch of times and you'll get better at like the 2nd part, the 3rd part, and the 5th part, you know, because it's in all of those bits. Anyways, I'm gonna play it now nice and slow one more time, just so you can take a look at it, and then we're gonna move on and figure out how to play this song without a capo using a bar chord. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Now that we have the lead part, let's figure out how to play this song without a capo. Because the truth is, if you want to do that lead part and then go into the chords, you know, you don't want to be like busting your capo on and, you know, winging it on and off. Let's just learn how to play it so we don't need a capo at all. Our first chord is A now instead of G. That's our first chord. That one's a, you know, simple open chord. Now here's the difficult one. Next one's B minor. So for B minor, I find the best way to get ready to play this chord is to actually play an A minor chord using these 3 fingers. So you see I'm saving my 1st finger, then we just slide it up 1, 2 times, and then we lay down the bar. And barring is tough. The truth is you might have to adjust your finger, put it a bit higher, a bit lower, you know, see what works for you. Try to keep your wrist nice and neutral. If your wrist is bent too much like that, this is where it really causes problems. You know, with open chords, you can kind of get away with having messed up technique, but once you get into bar chords, you need to be efficient, or else holding that chord is just gonna stress out your wrist. It's gonna damage your tendons. It's just not a good time. So we want to keep our wrist nice and neutral as possible. And if you need help with bar chords, I actually have a mini series that goes over them. So I'll put a link down below. You can check that out. It goes over all the technique and everything around making sure that you can play bar chords safely and how to build up that finger strength without, injuring your wrist. So you could just take these two chord shapes now, put them together with the strumming pattern that we already learned, and that's the whole tune. But I want to show you one more thing that we can do at the end of each phrase. So we play A, then we play B minor, and then when we're coming back to A, we can do this. So all I'm doing there is I'm on my A chord, I play my strumming pattern once, like I normally do, and then I go. So for that, I'm switching to an A sus4 chord, which is just an A chord, and you just put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. We're suspending one of the notes, and that's where sus4, that's where the name comes from. A sus4. I recommend just practicing it back and forth like that a few times. Make sure you get it. Now the strumming for that part, we do a downstroke, we're still on our A chord, and then as we go up, we switch to A sus4. So, and then we go up, down, staying on that A sus4, and then we go back to our A chord and we play our strumming pattern 2 times like we normally do. So that whole part, nice and slow, all together, normal strumming pattern, then, and then back to our pattern. And I would recommend just focusing on that switch where we go, just going down, up, down, down. A whole bunch of times. And then when you're ready, you can integrate that with the whole song. And that's just something that, if you feel like this 2-chord song is just a bit too easy for you, and that riff, you already got all those slides, that's just one more thing you can do that'll make it sound a bit more like the original recording. Anyways, let's practice that together now, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Alright, so that's how you play Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. If you need any extra help with this, don't forget to check out my free ebook or my beginner's guitar course. They both are great resources if you're just getting started for teaching you all the basics of strumming. They'll just get you strumming your favorite songs as soon as possible. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you soon.